Alright guys, well I'm back, and hopefully not screw up my hood this time. So I'm going to sand it back down, primer fill it, and wet sand it, and get everything dialed in. So here we go. So here I've got a random orbital sander. I put some 220 grit sandpaper on it. I've got an interface pad on here, and I'm just gonna do a rough sand, blow this off, and then finish it off by hand, and then work my way up to maybe 400, and then I will primer fill it. When you're sanding, you gotta make sure you get every little bit, all the little curves. So some things like this are better to get by hand, and then the flatter spots are better with the random orbital sander. And then blow off periodically so your sandpaper doesn't clog up. Alright, and the 320 is done. Well, alright, so now I've got my hood all sanded. I sprayed it off, well, I sprayed it with air anyway. And now I've got some grease and wax remover. I'm going to just put it on a towel, wipe this down, get a lot more of this dust off. Then I'll wipe it with a tack rag. And then we'll be able, or be ready, to spray our primer. Alright, our hood is wiped down. It's free of dust now. It's clean. So now it's time to mix our paint, or not mix our paint, mix our primer. And some people say you could tack rag it. It's primer, so I'm not going to tack rag before spraying primer. I think we'll be okay. But yeah, here we go. Time to mix the primer. So here is my primer. Then there's the activator for it, and this is a 4:1 ratio. I wrote it on top when I bought it, so I couldn't possibly forget what it was, and hopefully this time I remember to mix it correctly. Alright, we've got our mixing cup here, and here we have a, I don't know if you can see that, but 4:1:1, that'll work. So it'll be 4 parts to 1 part. A lot of the filler part is settled to the bottom, so this needs to be stirred very, very well. Yikes, that's kind of scary. Alright, well, I've mixed this for longer than I care to admit. I mixed until I thought it was good, and then mixed it for, I don't know, another 5 minutes or so, and now we have a good even density. I don't have any more of that sludge in the bottom of this. It's all nice and even, so that is good. So I've stirred and stirred and stirred, and honestly my fingers are hurting from holding this stick so long, but such is life. First world problems. Alright, so now I get to start putting some into a cup to estimate how much I will need. I'll probably go to, I don't know, the 5 here, so I'll have, I don't know, maybe the 4. Because then that'll put it up to there. That should be more than enough primer. And I hope I don't make a mess here. Oh, let me turn it so I can see. Oh, all right, there we go. Oh, right on the 4. And I made a little bit of a mess down here, but that's okay. I think I had a comment in the previous video, somebody saying put cardboard down on this table because it'll mess up the table with me painting in here. Honestly, this is a very old table. I think I've rebuilt some engines on this table. It's been through a lot, and this table honestly owes me nothing at this point. It's my official paint can opener and closer. So, I look official now. Yay! Alright. Time to pour this Julie 1. There we go. And now our activator. So just there we go. So now we are at 421. Let me bring you guys over to my paint gun here. So now we have our primer. And this is a paint gun I've used before. I'm just going to use it as my primer gun. And now it's time to hook it up and start spraying. So my first coat, I think that went pretty decently. I'm relatively happy with it. Not the best, not the worst, but I'll let that flash for a couple minutes and then I'll put on a second coat. Round 2, fight! Okay, that was my second round and I am happy with this. Very happy. So this is going to dry overnight. Tomorrow I'll sand and we'll get this ready for color. Thank you. Alright, well now that I've got my hood all sanded, I worked all the way up through 600 grit. I didn't get it all on video, but I was just kind of focused on getting the job done and doing it right. And so now, well, I sprayed it off with air while it was outside. And then now I'm going to wipe it down with some grease and wax remover. This will get the last of the, well, some more of the debris off of it, more of the dust and all that kind of stuff. And it dries really quickly too. Yeah, we can see already it's getting dust off. Alright guys, well I have got my hood ready. I've already wet my floor down with the hose, so if there's any debris on the floor, I don't accidentally kick it up and it comes into the paint on the hood that I'm doing. I'm about to wipe this off with a tack cloth. After that, we're mixing paint, and I'm going to test my pattern here on a big piece of cardboard I have here to make sure I got the gun kind of a bit more dialed in than last time. I did already make some adjustments to it. It feels a lot better, but then I'm going to get a clear view with doing some test painting here on this piece of cardboard. Alright, so it's time for me to mix my paint here, and this time I'm going to focus on doing it correctly. We have a 2-to-1 ratio here. I already mixed this up a little bit, but we'll mix it up some more. It's not going to hurt it. Be good for it. And it's kind of about the time I want to go ahead and put my respirator on. I'm not trying to lose any more brain cells here and mix incorrectly. Alright, well I learned some things here. So here it started out really wet and looked really good, and then it got, you can see it's a bit more tiger striped up there, and I think it's the way I was holding the gun. and not as much paint was flowing down. So I adjusted the way I was holding it, and it laid down smooth as glass right there. It's a little bit dry in there, but I'm going to do another coat, so that should be okay. But it's weird, there's these couple of lines in here, and I don't know what that's from. I'm going to let this flash off for a little while, and then I will do coat number 2. Alright, second coat turned out a little bit better. It's got a little bit more coverage. I'm still got some of those lines there. It's hard to see. I think there might be scratch marks in there. It looks pretty good overall. There's one there. There's a little one there. I think I'm going to do one more coat of the green. Alright, next up is clear. I'm going to let this flash over a little bit more, and then we will be working on clear coat. Alright guys, well our base has flashed over. It's time to start working on the clear. So, here's my reducer. Here's this. 4-to-1 ratio. I need to grab me a cup real quick. I will be right back. Alright, it's time for our clear coat. I'm going to mix a lot because I'm going to do a lot of coats of clear. So here we go. It's a 4-to-1. So here's a 4-to-1 scale. I think I'm going to go up to about 2 to 7. So first 7 and then the second 7. So it'll be about to here. Actually, I'm going to go to the 8. So 8 to 8. Alright, well this is time for the most nerve-wracking part, is spraying the clear, because I could run it and just kind of ruin everything. So we'll see. I mean, the job isn't perfect right now. I mean, I'm learning. Well, I'm relearning how to do this, so I'm figuring out as I go along. So if anything, this is a good learning process for me, trying to get back into painting. It's been years since I painted anything. So if it turns out horrible, well, I guess I'll have learned something, hopefully. And if it turns out good, I'll be happy. So we'll see. Here comes the first of many coats of clear. I probably want to do 4 or 5 coats. So I want to get it nice and thick, so I can, if it gets dry in some spots, I can wet sand it and get it nice and smooth and look like $1,000,000. Alright, I did have a drop of water come off my hose onto the paint right here. You can see where it ran down. I tried to dab it with a paper towel, and we'll see if I can fix that with some wet sanding after the fact. Looking pretty good so far. I am a little dry right here. That's coat number 1. I'm about to do coat number 2 though. Overall, I'm pretty happy with this. Not bad for a redneck and a redneck setup, that's for sure. Alright, 5th and final coat of clear. Here we go. Alright, well that's 5 coats of clear on my hood, and I'm happy with it. Alright guys, here is my hood after it's kind of dried a bit for a few hours. It's not perfect by any stretch, but it's not bad for a redneck paint job in a redneck paint booth. There's this spot right there that shows, and then that right above it's a dog hair that somehow got into it. I guess it came off of my shirt. But there's a little bit of trash in the paint, not much, but I did 5 coats of clear, so I'll be able to wet sand this and buff it to get it a little bit better. But honestly, I'm pleased with the way it's turned out. It's a lot better than my first go around for sure. And I've gotten a bit more comfortable with the spray gun. I've got it a little bit more dialed in. I think what I'll do, my next bit of painting I do in here, something I'm going to do different is I'm going to set up a box fan kind of in here and then have it blowing out outside. That way I can get a lot of this debris and all that garbage out of here while I'm painting. But I'm overall pleased. Now I'm really excited to get to doing some more painting here on the Jensen. Alright guys, well that concludes today's video. As you can see, I actually did a halfway decent job at getting my Jensen hood painted. Thank you for watching, and also shout out to Dan. Thank you for letting me bother you about some painting advice and all my questions and things like that. And yeah, I need all the help I can get in more ways than one. But yeah, so that's all done. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, all that kind of fun stuff. Tell your friend that there's some random guy on YouTube painting a really rare Jensen GT. Yeah, that's me. Hopefully I don't mess it up.